Welcome back to In the Zone, the Washington, D.C. sports show that brings you all the latest and local sports news. Broadcasting here today from the Crystal City Sports Pub in Arlington, Virginia, one of the best places to watch all your favorite sporting events. Now it's time to recap the NFL season predictions of On the Record. Let's roll the tape. Right now, if you were to ask me who I think is going to be the top 4 teams in college, Florida, Boise State, Miami, and Alabama.
I got Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, and Texas, which are actually the top 4 teams in preseason rankings.
Way to go out on a limb. Way to go out on a limb on the record there.
Even though.
What do you think the Redskins' record is going to be this year?
8-8.
8-8?
8-8.
I got 9-7. I'm not hating you too much.
Yeah.
For an unbiased point of view, 8-8 is very, very fair. Skeptical, but I'm giving that extra win. I think Mike Shanahan and Don McNabb are good for that extra win. I'm telling you, 9-7, 9-7, and they edge out the Atlanta Falcons. All right, Jason, you've seen the picks, you've seen what you did, and all the stuff some stuff you got right, some stuff you got wrong. Let's start out with your college football picks. You just went right down the line, Jason.
Yeah.
You didn't really go out on the record at all.
No, that was a bad move on my part. I had Alabama, Ohio State, Florida, and Texas. Texas didn't even make a bowl game.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good for me at all.
Yeah.
Ohio State won their bowl game, which
yes, they did. Yes, they did.
And they happen to be number 1 in basketball right now.
Which I'm rocking. Yes, which they are number 1 in basketball right now. I am a Maryland Terp, but due to the fact that I was a little under the weather this week, and the wash didn't really happen like I wanted it to happen, I had to rock the Ohio State, and it's a good school.
I'm just surprised
It's
surprised you chose the front runner of being a Redskins fan.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm not a Terrell Pryor fan, but he kind of punked out with the whole tattoo thing. But we don't have time to get into that. But I will say I did make a little bit of a misstep when I picked Florida to win it all.
Yeah.
See, what had happened was I had thought Cam Newton was back on the Florida team, and I didn't think he left. And I thought Cam Newton was on that team, and I had made a mistake, and I said the Florida quarterback, and it was Bramlett and not Cam Newton, and I picked Florida to win, and I was a little off. But my quarterback was kind of.
You had the right conference at least.
I did have the right conference, SEC. It's hard to go wrong with the SEC.
Yeah, past 5 years in a row.
Yeah. Now let's get into a little bit of the little bit more damaging of pick for myself was the Washington Redskins pick. I picked 9-7. You weren't too far off with 8-8.
Yeah.
Now I will defend the pick like this. I was on the track for my record to happen before we all got blindsided by Shanahan's taking of McNabb.
Bullocked.
Yeah, we all got bullocked.
Yeah.
Before we got bullocked in the Saints game, in the St. Louis game, and he took McNabb out, we were on pace. We were on pace that if McNabb goes down, scores a touchdown, we were going to be 4-2, and we were 5 wins out from my 9-7. That's how I defend that.
All right.
I think that's a great explanation of it, to tell you the truth, Jason.
Yeah, I was still closer to 6-10, and I had no playoffs, so I think I was still closer. On the record, of course.
On the record. So I had 2 little missteps, but it's not over yet.
Okay.
It's not over yet, Jason. We still have some more stuff. Let's go to the tape, and we'll check out the rest of the predictions. AFC East, I have the New England. In the North, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. In the South, I have the Colts. And in the West, I have the Chargers. What do you got?
I got the exact same, except in the North, I got the Ravens instead of the Bengals. NFC East, you're going to hate it, but I'm picking the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. In the North, I got the Packers. Mm-hmm. South, I got the Saints. In the West, I got the 49ers. Who do you got as your division winners in the NFC?
I don't have too much to say. I got the exact same thing.
You need to make your Super Bowl pick right now. What 2 teams, and I need a winner on the record.
On the record. You heard it here first. Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers. And you ready for this one?
Yeah.
In the AFC, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow.
Going on the record, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers.
So who you got winning? This is on the record.
I got the Packers edging out the Bengals.
All
I really like the Bengals this year. I really do.
I like the Bengals myself this year. But it's funny you got the Packers because I got them in the Super Bowl as well. But I got the Colts beating them. I think Manning's revenge from last year.
Okay, so now we're back. Your division winners. Now, we were pretty close, okay? We were pretty close in our picks, and we weren't far off. We kind of had the same winners. We both had some missteps here. We both had some missteps with the Cowboys winning.
Yeah.
Eric. We both said the Vikings were going to make the playoffs. Yeah, a little off of that. We said the 49ers. And you said the 49ers picked with conviction. Like, you knew the 49ers were going to win.
I mean, I thought in that weak division that the 49ers would run away with it. I didn't realize a 7-9 team was going to make the playoffs out of that division.
Well, you were a little close. Now, we both, now the AFC East, your Dolphins didn't make it. Dolphins didn't make it. I knew one team would come out, but the Dolphins didn't make it. Before we leave today, I'm going to ask you about the Dolphins. So don't hold off a little bit on the Dolphins. Now, this is the pick that will haunt me, okay? It goes into my Super Bowl predictions, but also went into my wild card predictions. But you picked them too for the wild card, so I don't want to hear you talk too much.
I picked them as the division winner, actually.
You did. The Cincinnati Bengals, okay? The Cincinnati Bengals, you picked them as a division winner. As a wild card. So I don't want to hear too much. I don't want to hear too much of the trouncing that will go into the James's Super Bowl pick of the Bengals and the Packers. Now, I will say this to defend that pick, okay? I will defend this. I am a trendsetter, and I am a trailblazer. And if that pick had come out right, I would have probably struck gold. And sometimes, as I went to see a psychic in the past, they told me I'm capable of great accomplishments and also great defeats. And it just so happened that the Bengals was one of my great defeat picks. But if I had hit on that, I'd have been career would have taken off like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to take a risk, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were a playoff team too, just based on their offense. Apparently, Carson Palmer decided he didn't want to show up this year, and
the rest of the team didn't want to show up.
Yeah, no.
Terrell Owens was the only one that showed up.
I know, which is crazy. And now Carson Palmer is saying he wants out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I don't think Chad Ochocinco, I don't think him or T.O. will be back there next year. Marvin Lewis got an extension after this year. I mean, it's just a mess. I think that's what Carson Palmer recognizes is like, I've been here my whole career. It's a mess every year except for 1 year. They were nice in the playoffs, and he blew out his knee right when they made the playoffs against the Steelers. And I don't think he's been the same since. I don't think that organization has been the same since. And that's why he's saying, just get me out of here. Now, we were both right on the Packers.
Now, we were right now, but only one guy at this table has them winning it all, and that would be me.
Yeah, I took the Colts winning it all, unfortunately, but they just had too many injuries. I think Peyton Manning still had a great year, based on the receivers that he was throwing to.
Over here, whatever. But they did have a good season, despite the injuries.
Yeah, they had a lot of injuries. Dallas Clark was a huge loss for them, and then their defense it's like they fold every year in the playoffs.
And I know you're an AFC East guy, and I will say on my midseason report, I did backtrack on the Bengals, and I went Jets Packers. I almost made it, and I was going to rub that in your face. I was hoping Mark Sanchez would go in there for that last drive.
You were going to rub your foot in my face? Is that what you meant to say?
Oh, man. Look at that. Slipping in the shots on Rex Ryan. That's all right. You're an AFC East guy. I know you like to slip the shots in. It's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right. But I almost made it. But I was going to come here and rub it in your face. Yes, I was. But it didn't happen. So we both end up with the Packers going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you think the Pack now? Well, we can't say. I forgot. I was going to say Packers and Steelers, but we'll save that for the next segment of who we think is going to win. So I don't know, Jason. That'll be like your last kind of official on the record for the year.
All right.
Okay. Are you able to handle that?
Yeah. So the Wizards going to the playoffs for you on the record? That's not the last one on the record? That's not the last one this year?
That's not for this show, Jason. That's not for this recap show. That is for a later recap show. And there's still time, I might add. We're not at the halfway point. So when we come back, Jason and I will wrap up with some quick hits, some thoughts on the dramas that have happened over the NFL, and maybe how it might look next season after the labor issues and the Super Bowl thing. So keep it locked right here. You're watching In the Zone.